Welcome back. We got a freezer at 20 degrees. High temp alarm. She's been struggling. Lots of ice behind the fan. That doesn't strike me as a dead defrost clock though, because the fins actually are clearing. That strikes me as frozen up. Well, no crap frozen up, but maybe lost a charge? Funny business. Let's turn this back on. I just created a manual defrost by holding the back and enter button. And sounds like our defrost is started. So I don't think you got a defrost problem. You definitely had a moisture problem of some kind. Reaching in to feel the drain line's not clogged, so it's leaving. All right, we're gonna definitely have to take this off and do that manually. It's not gonna happen on its own. What is that all about? Our defrosts are working. But I mean, there's nothing to defrost the front. And I don't see environmental nonsense in here elsewise. So it's interesting. All right, so we have defrosted all. We pulled, I showed you, it was all pulled out. I actually ended up pulling the motor out. Let me just make sure she fires back up since I unwired and rewired everything. Yeah, beautiful. All right, now let's go outside and see what the outdoor unit's telling us. We'll talk. All right, so let's just talk for a minute. So these units, this is a brand that, if you remember this is a beautiful train unit that was installed, and for some reason panel was damaged or broke and they just put that on there. So whatever. But this is a brand that I serve, and this location just happens to be less than a year old, right? New Kolpak unit. Okay, so there she goes. Let's see what she does. It looks to me like there's not the pressure in there. And the fan isn't gonna kick on until there it goes. Still there's a certain amount of head pressure. Curious to see now what she does. So this unit lost temperature yesterday. I'm gonna sit back and see if it short cycles. And that's beautiful, right? Less than a year old. And so they called me because I'm just the guy they call whenever there's a problem. And I was talking through them and they're like, hey, wait, this is less than a year old. It'll be under warranty. And then some hours go by and they text me and say, the GC can't find somebody to come and take care of this, so they approved me to come out. Well, what does that mean? So we had a great conversation with the owner, just explaining that, like, I'm gonna come out and I'm going to service this, but I'm gonna bill the owner. And then the owner can deal with the GC to deal with the warranty work. And they're like, no, you'll have to go straight through Kolpak. Well, here's the beef with that, right? What if I discover that this is out of gas because of an installation issue, right? So I'm gonna go in there and find out that at the connection, and maybe it's not, she's running, so maybe it's not out of gas. But let's say we find a leaking quick disconnect. Well, that's an installation issue. So I've gotta cut that out, torch it, recharge the unit. None of that's under warranty. So I'm stuck holding the bag because the GC thought I would just kick it to Kolpak. It's back to that honesty game of who do you screw, right? I'm not gonna screw anyone. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna call it like it is. And if that leaves the GC holding the bag, that leaves the GC holding the bag. If I find an issue with the manufacturing of this, then Kolpak will be left holding the bag. But I'm not gonna be the one to step on a landmine to come out here and, you know, be the one doing the work that nobody wants to do. It's the end of January. Refrigeration companies aren't that busy that he can't find someone to come out here and service this. What he can't do is find someone to come out and service this under warranty. The warranty system is so broken, it's just nobody wants to do the work. Powered both of them down so we can, let's take a look at when we fired up what she does. That's completely full or completely empty. If it were completely empty, I would think it's going to be short cycling. Let's get the gauges on it, see what she says. Alright, I would definitely say she's running low. Right? Generally speaking, a freezer, 404. I mean, we're going to target what, 22, 23, 25 PSI. That's going to put us at like 10 below. It shouldn't be at 12, 161. It is cool outside, but I'm going to go inside and explore the line set connections to see if it looks like it's leaking from in there. All right, so the line set wrap is a pretty good indication. Right? I don't see any oil in there. This is weird that there's an extra, although they are different kinds. I'll be like, why is this? Is that oil or is that water? Well, it feels like oil. We're gonna cut this off and see. I'll share this. I just have to, hang on. I searched inside, I didn't see any leaks. So I'm gonna open this up and check for leaks. Look, dude, do you remember this? We've done this once before. You wanna talk about a great installer? Dude didn't take the cover off and bother to look in here. And there's gonna be a brand new defrost clock that he didn't need, right? He didn't need it because you've got that Ketatherm inside. But is this, all right, I've gone through, I've got the inside powered and the outside off so that I was able to put some pressure on the low side, right? And there's no visual evidence of oil anywhere. This is just water. And with it pressurized, I've gone through and leak tested, right? And I'm not getting any hits. I said, I also don't have any, oh, I don't like that. Sitting on the ground like that. I don't have any indications visually that we have a leak, but my pressures sure tell me. I mean, it's 48 degrees today. It's not brutal. This unit probably doesn't have a headmaster. Nope. So I'm gonna fire it back up. I don't see a leak. It is possible that it was just undercharged from the beginning, from the get-go. What is... Okay, well, you know, I am not perfect, especially, and I have done some installs that are, you know, no prettier than this. So I'm not like, everybody sucks, look at this work. No, I'm just aggravated they're not out here backing up their work, right? They charged all the money to install it, which should build in coming back out here and standing behind your work. That's why you charge so much. So I'm sure they didn't discount it, and yet they're not willing to come out and stand behind their work. So that aggravates me. Let's fire it up. Out, we were running 250 and still only getting 16 suction. Maybe we just never dialed in the TXV. Right? I mean, 160 and 12, that tells me there's a problem. But we were at 225 and 16. Hang on. Let's run a test. Let's run a test. So now we are not displacing heat. to go up. So once I drive my head pressure up to about 250, what happens to my suction pressure? Tap out at about 16. What I can tell is maybe they never set the superheat worth of crap. So let's fire it up. I just put the S-Mans on inside. So let's see what the superheat tells us. All right, so we're running. Sight glass is clear outside. Yeah, I mean, we're running 13 PSI and 43 degrees of superheat. So what that means is we're so restricted here that we are vaporizing too soon and not getting effective cooling. And so we're overheating the refrigerant way crazy, and I am clipped right behind the bulb. So we're gonna adjust that to bring the superheat down to a more appropriate range, and that should also bring up our suction pressure. So I just counted my quarter turns, and I just turned it 20 quarter turns. And looky there. So we've probably gone too far, which is fine. But look, now we're running proper pressures. I'm gonna take it back. I did 20 turns, so I'm going to go 5 back the other way and see how she settles, because I don't want liquid slugging back where I want it. We're frosting back nice to the compressor, but we're not freezing the compressor. So I think I got us running about 19 PSI in there with kicking between 7 and 4 and 8 degrees of superheat. It's hard on a cold day, but I get everything taped up. I'm going to show all this stuff, but re-tape everything up, right? Everything that I cut and sealed, I re-taped, so that's insulated. Alright, there's no way around this. We've got a TXV problem. I just can't get it dialed in. Right, so inside we're supposed to be like 10 PSI, right? I showed you out here at the compressor we want 20. At the compressor we want 20 degrees of superheat. At the evaporator we want 6 to 10. So out here I should have 20 degrees. And the problem I've got is that I'm running uber low pressures already, right? I'm freezing back because I'm only 8 degrees of superheat out here. So what I need to do is tighten down my TXV in order to increase my superheat, but then that's going to reduce my operating pressure. And this is where I can't find the balance. And I blocked this thing and drove it up to 260 and let it live there, and I got the same problem. My TXV is just not doing its thing properly. So, no way around it. I'm going to have to replace the TXV. I'm going to adjust it back so it's not slugging back. I can't have it damaging the compressor while we get this TXV. Alright, so this is just my MO. Tech support, and I walked them through the struggles I'm having, which is I can set the superheat inside, but it drives my head pressure way low. And then I can adjust it back, but I plug that to the compressor, and that's going to damage the compressor over time. Just to make sure I'm not missing anything, and he confirmed, yep, that's got to be a bad TXV, especially given that it just started, right? It's been out here for months, no problem. Now, problem. So I got the OEM part number. And chase how fast we can get the TXV. It'll be a surgery video. But for now, I'm going to adjust. I'm going to run low pressures in order to not do that. Right. So I've made the adjustment to run an appropriate superheat and not plug back to the compressor. So that's going to drive my pressures down. But at least we're not doing compressor damage anymore. 25 degrees of superheat out here is good. All right, so when it's all said and done, what's crazy is the amount of time it takes, right? So the amount of time it's taken to get to this diagnosis, you can see we're not slugging back to the compressor. We're freezing, but we're not freezing the compressor, and that's what you want. So, also, look, when you need this, you need this, because there's no way you're getting back there without it. Right? It's pretty sweet. Or like this guy right here. You don't have a shot at it straight on. Anyway, handy little bugger. But like, I know I'm trashing. Like at the end of the day, there is a warranty problem here. You know, I called tech support and they said, yeah, let's get the TXV. So, you know, I'm trashing the installation company, and it's not installation cost. It doesn't change the fact that they should be here standing behind their work. You know, not making somebody else do it, but it is what it is, I guess. I complain a lot, and someday someone will be going behind my work complaining about my jankiness, so I guess it is what it is.